everybody, it's Victoria Marie and I'm back with another video, and in this video I want to do a album share, and I'm hoping to do that more regularly as I'm completing albums. But I thought it would be fun to kind of go back a few years and show you my very first completed scrapbook album. I've completed lots of scrapbook pages on and off, but this was my very first album that I completed. I think it's helpful to be able to show kind of where you started from. And my scrapbooking, or at least how I used to scrapbook, is a lot different now than what it is today, or what it was yesterday, or years ago. And so I completed this album prior to my daughter being born, and I called this my Mommy to Be our 9-month journey. And this was to chronicle our pregnancy experience, me and Aubrey's pregnancy experience. And so I chose this album, and this is just a standard album, and this was before, you know, all the 3-ring binders became really popular. And I'm really proud of this album, and I thought about changing it a few times and kind of updating it, and I might, but this album will stay exactly the way it is. But I might go back and kind of do a refresh, because there are some memories that I didn't really capture here that I think are very important. So without any further ado, let's get started. So this is the cover, and it's so cute. And I went out and I bought all of the coordinating papers to go with this. I was so new in kind of my scrapbooking. And so when you open it up, you see the first page. And these pictures were actually taken when we were on our way to Washington, D.C. We had a late honeymoon trip about a year or so after we got married. And it was on this trip, I didn't realize it, but I was pregnant with my little butterbean. And so I created this page of me and my sweetheart and our pregnancy test, and kind of talked about how excited we are that baby number 1 is in the oven. And little did we know she would be our only one. We decided just to have one. So here's the first page. And I did a lot of classic scrapbooking, kind of first-timer scrapbooking things. I love stickers, and I would do these mats that had to coordinate with my paper. I knew nothing about layering. Of course, I used these little edging scissors, which are great, and I still have them. I don't use them, but I just have them just, you know, just because. I don't like getting rid of them. And this was just so fun. I just bought a bunch of supplies, and this was before I ever looked at scrapbooking magazines or kit clubs or sketches or anything. I just sat down, grabbed myself an album, went to Hobby Lobby and Michael's and bought a whole bunch of cardstock and pattern paper. I had no clue really what I was doing, because I fiddled a little bit with scrapbooking over the years, but not very seriously. And so I just picked out what I liked and just sat down and did this book and had so much fun. So the next page talks about, hopefully I can do this without it glaring, our ultrasound. And there's my little tiny butterbean right there in the middle. You can hardly see it. And I journaled about how excited we are that the baby was on her way, or was growing. And every page had to be perfectly coordinated. I do remember that as I was getting it together. And then I did each page by the month. So this page was dedicated for months 1 through 3. So this is us outside of a bed and breakfast in DC. And then we went to my husband's high school reunion, and I was 2 months there. And then this is a picture of me in a nightgown, because I was starting to show a bit. Then at the 4-month mark, we took another ultrasound so we can see how big our little butterbean was growing at that point. And on this day we found out that she was a girl, and we decided to name her Corinne. So I talk about that, and I purchased all these cute little sticker embellishments, and this is totally not my style anymore, but I absolutely loved it then and had a lot of fun putting it together. So this was month 4. Then I went over to month 5, and I wasn't feeling particularly creatively inspired that day because I had a lot of nausea my first trimester, but I wanted to get this page done to kind of talk about how I'm feeling. And I talked about how very sick I am and how queasy I am, and I put a bunch of stickers, and I remember being so enamored with this pattern paper. So yeah, good times. Month 6, and I wasn't using the best adhesive, but I guess I need to go back and do that. But I found these little embellishment packs that have the little baby hoodies. Isn't that precious? I was just so enamored with that. And the little gloves and stuff. that I put on the page. So this was month 6, talking about how I was getting bigger at that time. And then these were some professional studio portraits that we took to kind of document our journey. Yes, yes, and I love these little butterflies and the stickers. And I kind of had the same sort of coordinating titles kind of going. I was very particular with the font that I wanted. And then our month 8, which we're coming down to the wire. Our kid was born in February. So this was during the Christmas time. And I was so excited to find these pregnancy stickers. So that was a lot of fun to put on the page. And I hand wrote all of my journaling. And I was very unsure about my handwriting at the time. And I've had a lot of people tell me that I have really nice handwriting, and I appreciate my handwriting, but I was very self-conscious about my handwriting when I first started scrapbooking. And then these were some of the last photos before I had Corinne. She was a tiny baby, but I did gain a little bit of weight, not a whole lot. But I wanted to kind of show that progression a bit. And then I tried my hand at making a 2-page spread. And so this was talking about how we prepared for Corinne's arrival and setting up her baby room. And we chose, and the color looks horrible in the pictures, but I did not want pink anything. I don't know what it was. I just did not want pink. And so we painted her room yellow and green, kind of a light yellow and a green, lime green color, and it went well with her bedding. But in pictures, it just looks like throw up green and throw up yellow. So it talks about us getting all that set up for her and how proud Aubrey was of getting all of her baby furniture built. And then I talk about all the little dolls that she inherited from me, from my childhood, and other little elements in her room. And Princess and the Frog had just come out, and so I put that in there because she got a Princess Tiana doll. Another 2-page spread, and I try to coordinate this as much as possible. I'm sorry for the glare from the lights. This was during our baby shower. We had a co-ed baby shower, and this turned out fun. We served hot dogs and chili and got a bunch of gifts, and so that was great. And I talked about everyone who was there. We played games as well. And this was when I really thought that I needed to use as many pictures as I possibly could, and so I cut down a lot of these pictures to try to put as many on a page as I can. Now I can scrapbook just one picture and I'll be just fine. And then I did a page talking about the people in our lives that came from my in-laws and my cousin and my co-workers and stuff, and my boss at the time. Seriously, just very, very novice scrapbooking. I had so much fun putting this together. And then some more pictures, and again, just trying to use as many pictures as I possibly can. That turned out kind of looking like a collage, really. So yeah, here's some more of that striped paper that I really liked. Then I set out some scrapbooking paper, and people could write notes to Corinne. So it says messages, or message to baby. And one day she'll be able to read these. She's a pre-reader right now, so one day she'll be able to read. And then this says, hello, Cece. We thought we were going to nickname her, well, Aubrey thought that she was going to nickname her Cece, but that didn't stick. I vetoed that real quick. So she has several different nicknames, but Cece wasn't one of them. And then the last page is just a large picture, and I thought that this was just so novel, just me printing out this large portrait, and I was going to make this really bold layout. Oh, it was so good just being naive to the whole process, that's for sure. I think I've had the most fun putting this together. So I talk about how we were waiting for the baby to come. And then at the very end of all of this, and this kind of messed up a bit here, is I needed a place to put all the cards and stuff that we received, and so I made a pocket out of vellum and adhered that with some brads and wrote the word cards out in a really cute little font. This was before I was thickers crazy. I used any font really. And then I put little mementos, like my friends hosted the baby shower, so they handmade invitations, and they're not crafters at all, but they thought it would be fun. It was a lot of fun. And so I could stick all of that stuff in there. And so at some point, Corinne can go back and read all of that, and I can look at all of that. And so that was the end of the baby book. So there you go. I say be proud of your first albums. I mean, they are, you know, what they are. And now, when I look back at my scrapbooking, in fact, let me grab a layout. See how far I've come. When I look back at some of those earlier pages in comparison to what I'm doing now, my skill level has definitely improved over the years. But I really remember when putting this particular album together how much fun I had. And so sometimes I really have to remember that when I'm in the midst of creating a new layout and saying, hey, you know, just do this to have fun. Do it because you enjoy the process. You don't have to be perfect. And it did take me a while to advance my skills. And with that came a lot of practice and really studying other people's, I don't know where that came from, studying other people's designs and other people's layouts, and not being afraid to try new stuff. I was very linear when I first started scrapbooking, so everything had to have, you know, photo mat, and it had to be just so on the page. And now I'm experimenting with layers and different colors and different fonts and that type of thing. So there's definitely an evolution in our scrapbooking talents and our abilities. So don't be afraid to get out there and try new stuff, because you only get better the more that you do it. And also appreciate where you've come from in terms of your scrapbooking evolution, so to speak. So it was fun sharing this with you. If you have any questions, just post them below in the comment section. And I will be sharing more albums to come. So thanks so much. See you guys later.